All right. So here's what's really interesting is that Amazon is getting ready to roll out something called FC Ready program. FC is for Fulfillment Center, and it's an Uber-like program. If you can think about employees and even non-employees becoming trained on the fulfillment, packing, and shipping aspects, right? And then they get notified to come in and do fulfillment in the centers based on need. So as the need goes up, they have ready workers that are going to be able to fulfill that need in each of the fulfillment centers based on sort of an Uber-like structure. So you sign up, here's your hours that you're available, and when they need you, you get called in and you get paid.
Uber-like structure.
An Uber-like structure for individuals.
You know, there's another Uber-like thing with Amazon that we posted.
What's that?
Amazon has given up their meal delivery. You see that? It was posted.
They got rid of, well, okay, yes.
And the article was called Uber 1, Amazon 0.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of weird for Amazon to get into that anyway.
I think they just try everything.
They did try everything.
And if it doesn't work quickly, they get out. Because remember the Instagram one that you talked about last week?
Right, yeah, they try it.
They try it, and I give them credit. You try it, if it doesn't work out quick, you're out.
Yeah.
You don't lose a whole lot on that.
Not really, and I think even when you talk about the food delivery thing, I think they realized that was good enough for them to test out just delivery in general.
Right.
And I think kind of that rolled into their package delivery.
Right.
So, I mean, there was no love lost there, I don't
But the
think.
fulfillment thing is interesting.
Hell
it's,
yeah.
It's like a fast way to scale.
Yeah.
You know, and
Yeah.
they need to be thinking about scale because almost everything they do.
I mean, you think about how do you it removes the friction of load balancing,
Right.
right? Because you want to project what the load's going to be, and a lot of times it's not what you think, and you're overstaffed, or it's way more than you've projected, and you've got to slow down. So now they've got a way to deal with pretty much both of those issues.
Yeah. I
So,
think it's smart. And you
It
know
is
what?
smart.
I think I'm going to let you do the second one because there's
No.
a bit of a tie-in, man.
There's
when
a
you
tie-in.
think about it.
Wait,
With the-
now you're putting pressure on me.
I'll give you the hint.
Okay, I got it.
All right, there you go.
Yeah. I was like, I gotta swap.
There's a reason why they need to be doing these things because they're handling more and more.
Of their own packages.
There you go. See, I set you up.
Amazon
There.
is the new king of shipping for Amazon, right? Now, here's the crazy part. So they've taken in so much in-house shipping, right? So they're doing like, what does it say? 47% of their own shipping. And literally because they're doing 47% of their own shipping, they're shipping more packages than all the other guys.
Well, let me ask you, what percent of Amazon shipping is FedEx doing right now?
Oh, well, I mean, how much have they been doing? 1.6, 2%.
Less than 2%.
It depends on the time of day.
It depends on the time of day. But remember all the big hullabaloo that was made a couple of weeks back when FedEx announced, hey, we are not going to renew our agreement for...
I don't think FedEx made it a hullabaloo.
No.
Because they were very, very specific about
it was all
how
about
small it
FedEx
was.
is dissing Amazon.
Well,
you know.
that's the way they spend it.
Well, here's the thing I look at it. I think it's more like FedEx is saying, you can't fire me because I quit.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have that great of a relationship or big of a relationship. You know, if you remember when all hell broke loose in 2015 because Amazon missed packages, it was Amazon and UPS. I mean, FedEx has really never been that big a part of the game. They only use FedEx, like FedEx said, for what, 3% of FedEx's bottom line, which was, you know, just to get overnight shipping done. Everything else is done with UPS and the United States Postal Service. So, yeah, I mean, puts
not a
things
big
in
deal,
perspective.
but I will say this. FedEx made that announcement. Everybody was like, "Rrr." And then what happens? We find out that they only make up about 1.6% of that shipping anyway.
Right.
And FedEx lost $2 billion in their last earnings report.
Yeah.
Probably not the right time to be announcing stuff like we're giving out.
Well, I mean, their purpose was they're announcing that they're going to focus in on pure play e-com versus marketplaces. So, I mean, I get it. I mean, it was a good, you know, it's a good way to get in front, use Amazon's name to get press. That's really what they did. you know.
Yeah, but then the real story starts rolling out.
Well, here's the real story here. Here's the real story here, and why this is so interesting to me is because the biggest, and you know, if you talk to any e-commerce player, the biggest cost really of doing business on the internet is shipping. And
Right.
Amazon now has taken one of their largest cost centers and turned it into a profit center. And that is absolutely brilliant. That they are now in the game where they're going to be able to profit off of shipping as opposed to having it be a debt for them. And it was one of their biggest debts. So,
Well, and let's put it like this. This is not the first time they've done this.
No.
Look at what they did with AWS. All that stuff was built for internal purposes originally.
right.
Because they were doing, their whole business is online. So everything they did, they needed to do for themselves. And then they spun it out and created what is basically now a $25 billion business.
And who knows how big this business is going to get. One of the things I do, I've gotten calls from Amazon in the last 2 weeks about doing shipping with them. And it's like every offer that you used to be able to get with UPS or FedEx, Amazon is now making an offer. Amazon, and I did talk to them about, you know, are you going to be able to do light packaging, which is where the United States Postal Service is the pure play right there. And you know what? They still can't compete. So it'll be interesting to see if they ever get to the point where they can compete with what I say is pretty subsidized postage. I think our postage is really subsidized. But it's kind of interesting how Amazon is going to be ultimately forcing all of their buyers or sellers to use their services. And they're interested not just on packages that you send to fulfill through Amazon, but also your own packages that you might be fulfilling in your warehouses. So it's going to be awesome.
You got to wonder the long-term effect of this. What does this do to the United States Postal Service at some point potentially? Does this lower the revenue enough to really cause significant impact?
Well, I mean, you know, they're not going to be able to do the daily mail.
There's
know.
less and less of that all the time.
Yeah. I mean, but we're still going to have it.
We're still gonna have to have it. And I don't think they.
And
really,
it's not a profit. It doesn't make any profits. So
It'll be interesting to see how this all works out. But one thing we know for sure is FedEx news from a couple weeks ago. Now it doesn't seem like it was that big a deal.
no.